Hello everybody who's watching this in a future video after the stream. Today I'm gonna go through my, my favorite and my least favorite romances in Mass Effect. Have in mind, I have not romanced every single character. There are a few of these that I haven't checked out yet, or just played through. But this is going to be for the entire Mass Effect franchise. So this is going to be for Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be for Andromeda as well. I'm not going to show you guys exactly what this order is. I'm going to just drag and pull it up here, and then I'll just go right into it. But just in order to keep it a little bit of a, some sort of mystery about it, I'm not going to do this in a particular order. I'm just going to go chaotic, essentially. We're going to start with Cora. Okay, Mass Effect Andromeda, let's start there. Why not? Okay, Cora is... Cora, I think, if we compare her to most every other squad mate in Mass Effect, I think she's pretty alright. She isn't good. So I'm gonna place her on mid simply because most of the romances in Mass Effect Andromeda aren't really as... there aren't really as oomph. You get it, right? They're not as good, or the quality is not that great compared to many of the other characters. So I'm not going to place her on good because she's all right. She's not bad. She's definitely one of, she is probably the best romance in Andromeda, I feel, at least for, females. So, yeah, there's that. We're gonna get into Peebee as well. Don't you worry about it, but we're gonna go in a very chaotic order here. Diana Allers. She is... I only romanced Diana once. And as far as I remember, I'm gonna say that several times in this, this stream/video. As far as I remember, Diana hasn't really the biggest romance arc, so... Diana is played by, I think, Jessica Shobo is her name. She was an employee, or is an employee, over on IGN. And I don't really know the background to why she got the job to play as a reporter, but she did. Thing is, she's not very great. The romance isn't very long. It's just basically a fling. You can bang her, and I guess that's that. I don't really remember that much, maybe because it's not that memorable. I'm going to place Diana over there. Okay, so let's go into one of the more liked romances. Miranda. Where are we going to put Miranda? Again, just like Diana, I don't really remember the entire arc of Miranda's romance, but I do remember a lot of the scenes. And the romance scenes with Miranda, or the romance scene with Miranda, is really good. And was really impactful for you, for all of you, or for all of us hornies out there, I guess. She is, she's a great character. I love Miranda. I just wish her romance ended in a better way in Mass Effect 3. I just wish it was more, and she was more involved in the game overall. But I'm gonna place her on good. She's not really god tier, as it says here. Because it's just, it's just the Mass Effect 3, her romance just didn't go that far. If you think back to Mass Effect 2, it's just, I'm going to place her on good because she's good. She would have been god tier up here if she was actually more of a part of the game in Mass Effect 3, probably. And if the romance was a bit longer and we had another romance scene, I guess. I don't remember if there is. I don't think there is. Anyway, let's get on with the business. Gil from Mass Effect Andromeda. I have seen, I think, the video of his romance. I've never tried it, so I can't really say if he's good or if he's bad. There should really be another category here. I don't know how to add it, but I'm just gonna place him on mid because I don't know. Simply, because I never romanced him. Liam, I romanced with my female writer, and I don't remember much of it except for his that one scene in his loyalty mission. I just cringed through the whole thing. I think it was back when the facial animations was as bad as they were, so it might have been that. I think, Liam is an all-right character, but I feel like his romance kind of let me down. Not really that I could really be let down when the writing wasn't really, that good. But I'm gonna place him on bad because he wasn't very memorable. I barely remember it. It was a long time ago, admittedly, so hey. Ashley! Where do we place Ashley? Here's the thing. I was one of the numerous people that didn't like Ashley for many different reasons, mainly because she acted like an absolute D-bag. I can't swear because I don't want the YouTube overlords to strike my stream and my video. I didn't like Ashley for various reasons. Most of you guys know what those reasons are. She was very xenophobic, essentially. But after downloading, you see, I've downloaded a few mods to make her look different, because that's also a problem I always had with Ashley. I'm maybe one of the few people who had a problem with what she looked like, because I preferred Ashley in Mass Effect 1 and 2. I thought she looked better. Her face, she doesn't look good in Mass Effect 3. I gotta say it. She just looks so plastic. And she looks so dolly in such an unnatural way. I don't know, it's just, she's too bimbo, I guess, for me. But I downloaded a bunch of mods to change her up and stuff, and actually, Ashley isn't really that bad. Sure, she's kind of a B-word in Mass Effect 2, the way she doesn't trust you, but it's the same with Kaidan, right? We're gonna get to Kaidan in a moment. But Ashley is really not that bad as a romance if you continue with her romance in Mass Effect 3. And I was actually genuinely surprised that she was actually, she is actually a pretty good girlfriend to Shepard, in Mass Effect 3 at least. So I'm gonna put her on good, because she's not that bad, I'm gonna be honest. But I can already see the comments going, hey, what the, she's Jacob Tyre. But I don't agree. I probably would have said she was bad tier or Jacob tier a few years ago, but it's now been a few years, and I didn't try her romance, and I was actually surprised. She's not that bad as a character. Okay, back to Andromeda. Suvi. So Suvi is one of those characters I tried just for the heck of it, but that was also back in the day. It was far back. So here's the thing, I get why a lot of you guys who play Andromeda and romance Suvi, why you love her voice, because her voice is lovely. Unfortunately, Suvi is the character that really nails the voice, sort of like Edie, but her model is just it's like a lot of models in Mass Effect Andromeda. A lot of faces that are tired. And I could never get really involved with Suvi, no matter how good of a voice actress or how well the voice actress portrayed her, simply because of what she doesn't look that interesting. And the game, the gameplay, the animations, it doesn't feel like Suvi really had that much of a focus in the romance arc for some reason. It's hard to explain exactly, but I'm gonna put her at mid because she's not bad. She's actually, she is a cool, interesting, cute character, but I was super let down. Compare her to even Ashley in Mass Effect 3 with her plastic body is definitely a step up over Suvi. I know that sounds really, oh, you're just looking at the appearance, but come on. Most of these characters, we all think the same thing. They're all, like, most of the most beloved characters in Mass Effect are some of the more attractive ones in some weird ways. We're gonna get to that. In any case, we're gonna go for, of course, Kaidan. Where are we gonna put Kaidan? Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to Kaidan, I always sacrifice Ashley, or I always sacrificed Ashley before, or I left her behind on Virmire before, unfortunately. And that meant that I always had to stick with Kaidan, because I always felt like Kaidan, despite being kind of boring, he is still kind of a bro, because I usually always played as male Commander Shepard. So Kaidan was always like, he's my chill bro. But after trying out the romance with him as FemShep, just because, I've never tried the gay romance, but of course it's probably the same thing as in the female romance because all the cutscenes are the same. It doesn't really matter. And I gotta say, Kaidan is a good romance, just like Ashley, because he really feels like that. He really feels like a guy who wants to support you after the whole deal with Cerberus, right? After he really starts trusting you, he does become, he does step up, just like Ashley in the romance category, I feel. So again, this is gonna be weird to a lot of people because, most of you know me as the guy who really I feel like, both Ashley and Kaidan are both very meh, in my opinion, or so it was before, but it isn't really any longer, just because of how I feel like they become better in Mass Effect 3 after you recruit them again. So they're actually on good tier, and also because, in Mass Effect 1, both romances are still pretty aight, right? So if you balance it out, yeah, I think they're both pretty good. Not the best, of course, because God tier, let's make, I gotta make this clear. God tier, by all means, should be several steps above good tier, like many steps. And that is the case, right? So we're gonna get into the first God tier. And would you look at that, it's my boy Garrus. Of course, I'm currently romancing him in Mass Effect 3, if you haven't caught on to that yet, but I am. And the thing is, Garrus is he is such an interesting character because he is, I'm not gonna go through all of his, entire history, but it's so interesting how he is this character that you can somehow affect how he thinks. Basically, depending on if you go a lot of Renegade or if you go a lot of Paragon, he starts to take after you in Mass Effect 1. And then in Mass Effect 2, he becomes he becomes a romanceable squad mate, and everything is just awesome with Garrus. He's sort of clumsy in this extremely weirdly cute way. Which is weird for me to say because I'm generally a very masculine dude. But he is really interesting, and I like seeing his relationship with female Shepard at least grow. Also, he is a bro for bro sheps as well, but the romance, he is easily the best female romance, I feel, in Mass Effect. We can argue on Liara about that. She probably... Let's just get right into it. Liara, goddammit, she's also god tier. Oh my god, why not? Why would she not be? She is like the front figure for Mass Effect if you set her, side by side by Shepard. She and Garrus are, of course, the best romances for FemShep, I feel. They're definitely the most interesting. They both have a lot of story. They both have a lot of presence in the games. And Liara especially, she's on the poster basically for the next Mass Effect game. So she is considered like no matter what happens, she's always going to be canon, not romance canon, but she's always going to be like the front figure. She can't even die throughout the trilogy. She is the one and only, I think, squad mate that is guaranteed to survive no matter what. And she's cute. She's played by Ali Hillis. Her voice is absolutely, it's just, she's definitely the best Asari out of all the Asaris in Mass Effect. She's my first romance in Mass Effect. I will never forget that first scene when you romance her in Mass Effect 1. That was spicy, incredibly spicy. I love it. I love her. She's definitely, up there, aside with Garrus. Here comes the very interesting one, okay? Jaal. We gotta talk about Jaal for a moment here. He is actually, when I played Mass Effect Andromeda the first time, I, of course, played as a female writer. And I felt like, hey, why don't I try out this new race, this Angara guy? And he's actually pretty cool. I was surprised. at Jaal, at how deep he is as a character. He does get kind of philosophical at times. I do remember that. I have a very strong memory of Jaal being very, oh yes, you know, he's like a soft Javik, basically. He's like just like Javik, he's wise, but he is very soft-spoken. He's very, you know, odd and bumbling at times, but he's, you know, I like his character generally. If I could say that he's good, well, yeah, he is good. He is definitely the best, in my opinion, of all the Mass Effect Andromeda romances, simply because he has such a deep and complex layer to him. And he's also a new species, so hey, why not? That's probably the most interesting thing. And now I'm talking generally from a perspective of someone who only played or only romanced Jaal as female writer. So I still haven't mentioned male writer romance the way I went. Let's see here. Oh my god, Morinth. What are we gonna do with Morinth? I realize right now that Samara is not present on this list, but I'm gonna be fair to the person who made this list. Samara isn't really romanceable. You can kiss her, yeah, but it's, you know, she would, Samara, if Samara was an option here, I would place her on bad, because we didn't really get that much with her. We only got to kiss her in Mass Effect 3, which is unfortunate. You can flirt with her, but, you know, it's like a... No, I would actually place Samara. Let's say Samara is on this list. I would place her on mid, to be honest, because the amount of teasing really has you going. Whenever you start flirting with her, you know, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe there is a chance, maybe there is a chance, and there is a chance, but it's like the actual thing is so small in Mass Effect 3, so it's really not worth it. But the amount of teasing, I think, would place Samara on mid-tier. But we're talking about Morinth. She's easily Jacob tier. She is an absolute monster. Do I need to say more? She's trash. Even if you do, you know, choose her over Samara, there is basically, you know, you don't really get any... There's no difference at having her on your team than Samara. It's still the same voice actress for Samara most of the time. Yeah, I guess you can sort of bang her, Morinth, that is, but you die by doing so. She is, but she's a monster. I'm absolutely disgusted by her just because she's just, you know, she's the least human of every character. She's the least likable of every character on this list. It's funny how I just placed Morinth on Jacob tier. And I haven't even talked about Jacob. I mean, come on, Jacob, he has his own tier. And he should actually be the first one here, I think. Yeah, there we go. So Jacob, my man, I'm going to be honest here. I got to talk about Jacob for a moment. Jacob, when you have him on your team, generally he isn't really that bad. Just, you know, in general as a squad mate. He is very, you know, he's very easygoing. He doesn't really pressure Shepard with stuff. He's kind of aight when it comes to that, but the reason why Jacob has his own tier is because he essentially cheats on Shepard in Mass Effect 3, or well, between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, he finds someone new, and Shepard couldn't really do anything about it because she was under, you know, this house arrest kind of thing. I don't know what they call it. But she couldn't do anything about it. He goes on to find someone else without telling her, and she goes like, what the, you know? So yeah, you all know the slap that you can give Jacob in Mass Effect 3. It's unfortunate. He did my Shepard dirty. Let's just say that. He did Shepard dirty. Nah. And he just, you know, nothing happens after that. He essentially just... well, you do help save him or whatever, and after, you know, his romance gets cut short, so to speak, you don't really hear from him again, so it just abruptly ends off. It's just like, okay. What a bummer. What a guy. Let's go with Reyes. Okay, I know a lot of people generally consider this guy like interesting in some way. I never did. I never really understood this guy. I see that he's supposed to be this kind of Han Solo type character, but he's just really not, in my opinion. I was so uninterested whenever I met him in Andromeda. I'm gonna place him on bad because I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember anything from his romance. I have small glimmers in my memory about what happens. But he also, spoiler alert, he also kind of betrays you, he lies to you, so essentially we should probably place him on Jacob tier. Now I don't really know here, just to be fair, if I should place him on bad or Jacob, but because he betrayed my writer when I was playing, I was like, nah, screw this guy. My opinion, guys. Samantha, OG, where are we gonna place her? See, she is, you know, if you didn't know, she actually plays one of the voices for the female Inquisitor in Dragon Age Inquisitions. That has already put her a step up. And for the, you know, she just appears in Mass Effect 3, and she wasn't in Mass Effect 1 or 2. For the short time you have with her, she is cute, she's interested in Shepard, and she, you know, that romance scene is spicy as hell. Her voice actress does an incredible job with her voice, as always. I'm gonna place her on good simply because she made such a huge impact, no matter if you actually romance her or not, because she is hilarious either way. She's a good character. Yeah, oh, can't forget about Peebee. Okay, Peebee is the one character that got a lot of crap back when Andromeda released, because she has one of the weirdest face angles in the game. When you get introduced to her, she like stumbles upon Ryder and like goes like, meh. You know, it looks super weird. She looks super odd. But that's like, she has the worst first impression, I'd say. After that, you know, she gets better and better and better. The fact that you can actually turn her over from being somebody who usually just sleeps around and just runs away and doesn't care, she can actually kind of fall head over heels for Ryder, which I kind of like, that you can turn her around in that way. You can actually notice a real change in how she behaves. I remember that. So I would say that she's basically a budget Liara, many leagues below. But she's probably mid-tier for me. She's not as good and interesting as Jaal. Simply, I don't know, maybe because I mentioned that he is a new species and whatnot. I just found him more compelling and interesting. Peebee is interesting, she's cool, and she's, you know, she's not bad, she's not good, she's mid. I do still, you know, I gotta point out the fact that you can actually sort of change her in a way. Now... we gotta talk about Jack. I know, a lot of my viewers have actually romanced Jack several times. I have a lot of Jack fans, and I'm gonna be honest here, she's just short of being god tier, because I'm gonna admit it, I haven't romanced Jack more than a couple of times, I think, throughout the years. But the last time I did, which was basically just after Legendary Edition dropped, I was really impressed with how she's handled as a character. She goes from this aggressive badass to this more mild, still aggressive badass. Out of her own accord, essentially starts, you know, becomes a teacher. She's cool. She has a really cool character development. Her voice actress does an incredible job. I think it's Courtney Taylor, if I remember correctly. She's cool. She's awesome. She's not really god tier, but she is just a short step, you know, just below. Definitely one of my so-called favorite female romances in Mass Effect. Let's see here. This one, I don't remember her name. I don't even know who she is. Is she the archaeologist that's looking for old artifacts? I think she is. Now, I'm not reading the chat just because I want you guys to experience this, but I think she is. Again, she's one of those, I don't think your romance with her is very long, but I don't know, so, you know, so I'm just going to place her on mid-tier because I just don't know. Let's go with, Kelly. She got replaced by Samantha, but Kelly she's cute, but I have this, I don't know what it is. It's just I know a lot of you guys are fans of Kelly. She feeds your fish, you know, good stuff. But as a romance, I don't know. I never got that interested in her during my playthrough. I have tried again romancing her. Again, it's a fleeting memory somewhere back in my mind. But I do remember that butt shaking scene, or that strip scene. So I'm gonna place her on mid simply because I don't really remember much. Okay, so this one, isn't she the bartender? I don't really remember her either. Again, I'm gonna place her on mid. I don't remember her name in Andromeda. You've noticed that a few characters I don't even remember from Andromeda. Place her on mid. I don't really remember who she is. She does look like Dr. Lexi, but then again, every Asari, and except for Peebee and Mass Effect Andromeda, all look the same, so I don't know. Okay, let's go with Steeeeve. As far as I can, I haven't completed the full romance yet with him in on my I'm actually trying out male shep romance with him. I haven't really gotten far with that playthrough, but they have a kind of cute relationship with male shep. He has a pretty, his backstory is pretty heavy. He is one of those, he is one of the deeper characters in Mass Effect 3 for sure. From the few bits I've seen so far, I would actually place him on good. I think he's pretty interesting as a character. He's pretty chill. He's an alright guy. Very sensitive. Okay, let's go with the last three that I have on this list. Okay, Thane. Where are we gonna place Thane? See, it's in one of those situations. Again, I haven't romanced Thane in quite a while. He has one of the more impactful romances, really, when it comes down to it, because no matter what you do, he dies. Either he dies at the end of Mass Effect 2 in the, suicide mission, or he dies out of his Keppel syndrome in Mass Effect 3. It's just, no matter what, he dies, and Shepard has to cope with that, which absolutely sucks. And that's why I think he's, again, just like Jack, he's just one step below God tier for me. And again, I'm just placing this as, it's just my opinion. Of course, if I romanced him more as FemShep, then it would probably be, he would probably be up on God tier. But as I'm not really, I've only romanced him a couple of times, but from his romance story, I do remember it being very impactful. The fact that he had a wife before, and he has a son, and he can still find love in Shepard, I find really, really cute. Very it pulls on your heartstrings, especially when he's, when he dies at the end. And the fact that he calls her Siha, damn. Okay, last two. Vetra. Okay, so I actually started romancing her on my Andromeda playthrough. I didn't succeed in romancing her because I think I missed a few scenes. But Vetra is, I would actually put, Vetra is probably up there with Jaal. Jaal is still sort of better. Oh, I realized I should probably switch these around to which priority I would put them. Okay, let's go. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm ordering them in the right order. So the best one starts here. The lesser best ones go over here, I guess. Of course, we're gonna finish this off in the most clickbaity way possible. We're gonna pull Bestgirl, of course. Really, I gotta reorder this again. Tali'Zorah. She is one of those characters that I didn't necessarily love when I started playing Mass Effect. I liked Tali, but since I'm one of those people that is always looking for a face to, grab onto, I didn't really think much of her at first. But as the years have gone by, and since Mass Effect Legendary Edition released, and of course I've installed a few mods to make Tali, to maybe see more of her eyes and stuff like that, it's become much easier for me to identify with her. And the funny thing is I did most of those things even before I had romanced her again in Legendary Edition, which I did, and then I realized that, holy crap, Tali is probably, to me, the best romance in Mass Effect overall, simply because she is just the type of girl that I myself like. She is shy, she can still be assertive, she cares deeply about Shepard, she has a really great voice actress. There's so many things about Tali that's just so good, and she's just so sweet. And that's just, you know, I'm the kind of guy that likes really sweet stuff. And, you know, especially when you consider and compare with all the other, let's say, girls in Mass Effect, I would say Tali is probably the most like my own real girlfriend. So because she's kind of similar in that way, you know, she's shy a little bit, she's a little bit assertive at times. She has basically everything, and goddamn those hips. It's and you know, the romance scenes and the fact that you know, the ending line, the last line she says to Shepard when you know, when they're rushing the blue beam in London, it just, you know, it really solidifies her as, you know, she really is that, you know, that line, what is it she says, come back to me, that was just, oh god, it kills me every time. And as much as I love Liara and I love Garrus, that line kills me alone. So it's just, you know, the fact that you're promising her that you're gonna build her a house on Rannoch and then you don't, you know, she's the most recent romance I completed, I gotta say. And yeah, I feel all you Tali folks. She is really that good. Shit, I actually almost started crying because she is actually that good to me. It's crazy because I always played with Liara as my main romance through all my years playing Mass Effect. And never once did I realize just how great Tali is. And I really started understanding just why the fan base for Tali is so huge. And, you know, everybody's different. We all have our different romances. So again, remember that these are just my choices. This is my opinion. Some of these I barely remember the romances of, and it's really hard to play through every game over and over again to do another romance arc all the time. And as we all know, we all work the same way in that we always choose the same romance options. No matter how many times we tell ourselves that we're not gonna go with the same route, which we do, inevitably. So that's my romance list, and I'm interested to see what you guys think. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to the comment section, and I hope you enjoyed this this little list.